would they do that? That's setting him up for failure. I wouldn't want to fight that lanky ass gypsy. I'm not fighting you. Shit. Go home. All right, y'all. Look, I ain't gonna stay on here long. I'm gonna give y'all top commenter of the day. Kayla, Nika, Pierre, Donnie. He gets did I put it on the right channel? Yeah, I'm on the right channel. Donnie gets honorable top commenter of the day. Okay. Listen, Nxt No Mercy was amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful paper. All right. They really started off very strong. It was really, really good. I don't have anything bad to say about any match. All I can tell you is which one of them was my favorite down to my least favorite. And that's even hard to do because all of the matches were great. So let's start off with my favorite match. It's the girls. Becky and Tiffany Stratton put on an excellent match. You could say whatever you want to about Tiffany Stratton, but that girl worked her ass off, and she is one of the best superstars they have built from the ground up in that company. There's a lot. Why are you letting it play out while I'm talking? Y'all, my brother is up here, and he is acting real ignorant today. Chris. Anyways, she put on a very solid match. She got her ass whipped. Literally got her ass whipped. But she put on a solid match against Becky. That's how it's supposed to be. Whether you love her or hate her, give that woman her flowers for what she was able to do in that ring with one of the best women in the company. They put on a solid closer. I feel like they could have closed it with the men or the women, but the women was the better choice by how great that match really is. And I'm so glad that Becky is in NXT because iron sharpens iron. And you have to have that element to be able to boost your audience, but also to force your talent to level up. And that is exactly what is happening with NXT with Tiffany Stratton. And it's only going to get better from here. And no matter who she goes up against next, it's just going to be better and better. And Tiffany Stratton got humbled, which is exactly what Nicole said. The issue was she needed to be humble. She was very much, I done won and I'm champ. Oh no, bitch. It is always somebody better than you. So it was so good. It was so good. I wasn't surprised. I was just very thoroughly pleased with the match and the quality of it. It just was really good. I don't have anything bad to say about it. Okay. So I'm not gonna dwell on the match too much. I'm just gonna say this match was my favorite match. It gets an A+ across the board for me, 10s across the board, whatever your grade is. This match was amazing. And I'm just very, very happy for Tiffany Stratton and for Becky that Becky was able to go down there and give Tiffany a WrestleMania level style match, but also that Tiffany was able to rise to the occasion and match Becky bar for bar, move for move in that match. To be fair, if we're looking at that match like it was, Tiffany Stratton made one fatal error. She was too reliant on her moonsault, and that is what ended up ending her in the end. Unfortunately for Tiffany, she was not able to join that elusive rank of the two-time NXT Women's Champion, but currently Becky Lynch is your NXT Women's Champion, and she will be defending her title on Monday Night Raw in 2 days. Now, the show opened up with Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, and to my surprise and delight, this match actually hit. It slapped. They fought before the match even started, but then as the match progressed, the boys was in there fighting. I will say there were some moments where things were not getting done properly. Some cues weren't being hit. There were some miscommunication between the two men. But overall, they performed really, really well in the ring. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I tell everybody. All right. So I thoroughly enjoyed the match. Towards the end, Robert Stone came out there and gave some interference on Brian Breaker. Brian Breaker then ended up suffering the end of days, and that was it. Match was over. Baron Corbin won, and I was happy for Baron Corbin. And I usually don't really fuck with Corbin like that, but given the type of match that him and Brian Breaker was able to put on, and the way that it ended, I was happy that Corbin got a decent match on the PLE, and it wasn't some cheap win or pop or nothing like that. It was a decent match, and it worked. So shout out to Corbin for putting on a decent match with Brian Breaker. The first match on the pre-show was between Kaylani and Blair Davenport. Now let me tell y'all something. Kaylani is gonna be the future. She's one of the girls, okay? If she is not the winner of the breakout tournament, she's gonna be one of the girls that makes it to the end of the breakout tournament. Kaylani's move set is very unique to her, but she knows how to morph her offense and her gymnast skill set into one, but it's very seamless. It's not as how can I put it? It's not as campy or as pageantry as Dana's move set is. Kaylani has a way of making her move set with a little bit more fluidity. Kaylani is one of those complete girls. If she works on her character just a little bit more and shows what she can do character wise, I think that she's also going to be one of the best next in line superstars that WWE has to offer. Moveset wise, ring wise, she is solid. She matched Blair Davenport move for move, bar for bar. They were going at it, and quite frankly, Blair barely, just barely beat Kaylani. Okay. Kaylani had her. She was making sure she had countered everything Blair had to offer. The match was over by the time Gigi got out there. I kind of wish Gigi would have cost Blair the match, seeing as how Blair cost her a match. You feel what I'm saying? I figure it was a match for a match, but whatever. It was Kaylani's first match on the PLE, and it was a good. She did great. If Shawn Michaels don't see what she's capable of now, I don't know what to tell you. But she did absolutely stunning in this match, and Blair was a good opponent for Kaylani to work off of. They did well in their match. If you didn't see it, when the playback comes back on, hopefully you'll be able to watch the kickoff playback and then watch the show if you want. But this match was really good, and I highly recommend that you go back and watch it because it was worth the watch. Hold on a second. I understand that Mr. Stone wanted his revenge, but kayfabe wise, I gotta hear Corbin brag about winning this Tuesday. I mean, you can always just turn off the sound. That's what the rest of us did. That's what I do. Anyways, let's move into the tag team championship match. This match was also really fun. I like this match a lot. They picked four teams that really worked well with each other. They had good chemistry in that ring. Early on in the match, something happened to Tony's leg and he ended up going out and going into the back. Stacks was competing all by himself. He spent an enormous amount of time in that match. And I tell you, every time I rock with OTM, I don't like their name. Out the Mud don't sound cool at all, but I fucks with Lucian and Bronco. I love them. The Creed brothers would have been my second tag team in this match. Then it would be the family, and then Umberto and Angel Garza. So ring wise, match wise, everybody was hitting bar for bar. It was a lot of going on, just pure chaos. Lucian and Bronco was hitting their shit. The Creed brothers had a significant amount of time in that ring with just about every opponent that was in there. Later on in that match, Tony ended up coming back out there, and Tony was able to help secure the win for his team despite his knee being in a brace and him being pseudo injured. Everybody was in there fighting. It was Lucian who ended up eating the pin in the match, in the No Mercy match. If I had to give this match a rating, I would give it a low B, high C, low B. It was a good match. It was a good way to cleanse the palate between the two bigger matches that they had, and it was a good way to lead into the Heritage Cup, which I'll get to in a second. To give Blair and Kaylani a match grade, I'll give them a B plus. I thought their match was solid. I really, storyline wise, I still feel like Gigi should have cost Blair this match and gave Kaylani her first win, but I'm not going to nitpick too much. I'm just going to give it a B for that reason. Shockingly, I'm going to give Corbin and Braun Breaker an A. I think they did excellent in their match, and their match was a good opener. It really set the tone for the show, so I'm going to give them an A for their match in the show. All right. Moving into the last two matches of the night, you have Noam Dar went up against Butch. In this match, this was my least favorite match of the night because it was just too much going on. Too many people were involved, too much cheating. It was just a lot. And I don't mind Noam Dar and Metaphor and all of that. They could have had them there for the first round and the second round. And then I feel like the rest should have just tossed out everybody. Everybody should have been thrown out. And then Dallas coming in at the end just really irked my soul. I didn't understand that shit either. I get that, Joe Coffey was mad, but he lost fair and square. Like, he literally lost on his own merit. It wasn't like Butch cheated to win. So I was just like, bitch, get the fuck over it. But I guess this was a way to pull Butch and Tyler Bate together as a tag team and then move into them going up against Gallus. But I was like, it was a waste of a decent match between Noam and Butch. And I really wanted to be able to see what Noam can do. And Noam is a great wrestler. I feel like he deserved better than that. That was just way too fucking much for me. It was too many hands in the pot. It was too many hands in the pot. I love the tag team match. One of my favorite moments was Ivy Now drop kicking Scripps. Is what Nikki meant when she said gangbang. This is what Nikki meant when she said gangbang. Ciao. But two moments during Breaker and Corbin got me weak. Was one of the security guards looked like a younger Tyler Bate. Okay. Anyways, all right. So Butch ended up losing to Noam Dar due to Gallus's interference, and that was it. Game over. Because of all of the interference, I'm giving it a C. The match itself was decent. There wasn't a lot of bad shit going on or anything like that. It was a decent match. I just wish that it would have been able to be a match that we could actually enjoy without the heavy interference. When I'm talking interference, I mean you had interference from Metaphor. Tyler Bate was trying to stop him from interfering. Then you had Gallus coming in. Not only was Gallus the two guys, but Joe Coffey was in there. It just too many bodies and too many hands in the pot. It gets a C for me. So this was my second favorite match of the night. NXT No Mercy moved right along. There wasn't really a lot going on. The matches were really long, but they were really good and they kept you interested in the show. But this match, listen, if you can't see that Carmelo Hayes is star potential, you need to either go get your prescription checked or you need to go get yourself some glasses, contacts, LASIK, whatever you need to fix your eyes. Because Carmelo Hayes did exactly what he was supposed to do, despite the fact that he did not come up with the win against Ilya. Carmelo is a superstar. He will always be a superstar. He is always going to be one of the top NXT superstars. He has always proven from the time he set foot in NXT until now that he is beyond capable of carrying this company on his back, no matter what brand that he is on. Shifting over to Ilya Dragunov, Ilya Dragunov is one of the hardest and most difficult superstars to wrestle because of his heavy, hard-hitting style of wrestling. And for Carmelo Hayes to come from an American style of wrestling to wrestling this man with this strong style, he kept up with him the whole match. There was not a moment where Carmelo was not able to counter, backfire, hit, or do anything he needed to maintain himself in this match. He was red as a lobster when he walked out of that ring titleless today. Ilya Dragunov beat the brakes off of Carmelo Hayes. And even in that, he almost did not win that championship. There were many times where Carmelo Hayes had that title in his grasp still, but Ilya was not giving up that title without a fight. He wanted that title. He could taste it. He fought for that title. He beat the shit out of Carmelo Hayes to get it. Not only that, but Carmelo Hayes whooped Ilya Dragunov's ass. This match was brutal. They were going back and forth. It was gnarly. I was sure. I'm like, Carmelo's not dropping it. He's keeping it. But Nicole, Don, and Rico all called that Ilya was going to get the title. I was the holdout on that one. So shout out to y'all for calling it right down the middle correctly. In this match, Ilya Dragunov was able to hit that H-bomb about 4 or 5 times. That last time, Carmelo just could not simply kick out, and he ended up succumbing to Ilya Dragunov, and Ilya Dragunov is the new NXT Men's Champion. The landscape of NXT has changed, ladies and gentlemen. I got one more match to talk about, and baby, honey childs. Y'all, I got one more match to talk about. Listen, never in a day. Don't get me wrong. I love Trick Williams. Trick Williams really has transformed himself into a superstar as well. He's worked hard. He's been able to become cleaner in that ring. He looks great in that ring. He just is 100% solid. But I can honestly say I did not think that they would pull the trigger on this today. But I was hoping that they would, and they did. They did. Trick Williams is the new NXT North American champion, and I could not be happier for that because Trick really shined in this match. Dominic Mysterio did exceptionally well. He fought hard to keep that title. He was arrogant. He was doing some extra shit, tried to walk away. He tried to cheat multiple times, taking out the referees. They had 2 refs out there. Dragunov was the first. The second ref came out there to count. He ended up taking out the ref. Dragunov ended up coming back in there and counting the win for Trick Williams. Trick Williams is now the North American champion. I didn't think they would pull the trigger on Trick like this. I didn't, but I'm so glad that they did. And then, if I have to give this match a rating, I'm going to give this match a B, only because we could have done without the excess referee and the knockouts. That's the only reason why I'm giving it a B. But this match, this gets an A++ across the board. It was solid. It was absolutely flawless. There was no flaws in this match whatsoever. I don't know if I could pick between Becky and Carmelo's matches because their matches were just top tier. They were so freaking good. I love those matches so much. I can rewatch them and be happy rewatching those matches. They were really, really good. They just really shined in that match. And I was just like, wow. I didn't like the match because even though the match itself was good, I expected the metaphor to get involved, but Gallus ruined it for me. I just didn't care. He is the moment. Yeah. It was a quick match too, but it was good. Dragon League. I kept calling him Dragunov. I'm sorry. Dragon League got knocked out, and Trick ended up going and getting him. and bringing him back in the ring, and was like, "Yo, I need to count." He was able to get that pin. He got the win. He didn't even, he had the title. Didn't even realize he had won. It was just like he was about to cry. Like it was so. It was so good. It was such a good show. If I had to give the show an overall rating, I give it an A. I won't put it at a B because I feel like overall each match did what it was supposed to do. There was a few things with the Heritage Cup, but you kind of expected it to have some interference. But each match did what it was supposed to do. Each match was set up right. Each match had their story set up correctly. Each match moved like it was supposed to. There was no issues in those matches. Like you knew, like you were aware of the story of each match. You know what I'm saying? You were aware of that. So shout out to you, Shawn Michaels, because you really did that. You really did. You put on a show, and I'm sure the people in Bakersfield, California are hype about that shit. You did excellent in this match. Can't even be mad about it. So NXT Halloween Havoc is coming up. They just showed the clips. This is going to be a TV PLE. They're not going to make it a full-blown pay-per-view. It's been a TV PLE for quite some time. So Halloween Havoc is going to take place in 2 weeks. It's going to be a 2-week event. You're going to have the first week of Halloween Havoc on October 24th episode of NXT. And then they're going to continue with that following week on Halloween night on October 31st. Then the next NXT pay-per-view is going to be the NXT Deadline, where we get the Iron Survivor Challenge. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. Okay? Y'all, that's it. I don't have to be on here long. That was NXT No Mercy. Okay? It was a very, very solid show. I'm telling you, I was thoroughly excited from beginning to end when it came to this show. My mom and pops was in there watching it. My brother came up here and watched it with me. It was a really good show. And my mom was in there hollering, and usually she don't watch NXT, so that was interesting. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. I'm very curious to see how they're going to book NXT Deadline. Halloween Havoc is usually a throwaway pay-per-view. They don't really change titles at Halloween Havoc. But I do want to say something else. Y'all saw how Trick had, at the end, they made a point to show Trick and Carmelo. Carmelo came back there apologizing. Trick was like, I still believe in you. You still him. You still my dog. No matter what, I got you. But if you paid attention, you saw that Trick was standing there holding his title, and Carmelo was eyeing that North American Championship. Carmelo was eyeing that title, and when he hugged him, instead of him just hugging him, on his side, he slapped his belt and then put his arm around him and was just apologizing. I'm like, I see y'all foretelling. I see y'all foreshadowing. I see it. Expect Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams to go at it at some point. I don't know when, but it is happening. Okay, it's happening. I just said that. You didn't hear me say that. I just said it, Tirson. This is the last thing I'm ending the show on because I just said it. She said, "See, I thought I wasn't the only one." No, they made it a point to show that because they didn't have to. They could have waited until NXT next week, but they zeroed in, and that was the last clip we saw. Nah, fam. Nah, they splitting up. They splitting up, and Carmelo and Trick going at it for that championship. Now, me personally, I think Dragon Lee is getting ready to go up. It's too much promo for Dragon Lee on the main roster right now. It's way too much promo for him. I don't know what's going on, but they done pulled Dragon Lee out of title contingency for the North American Championship completely. Okay? Completely pulled him out. They got tricked with the title, and Carmelo done been dropped to mid card again. Oh no, baby. I the way I see it, Dragon Lee's going to SmackDown probably, and then more than likely they're gonna pull Carmelo once he gets done with Trick and helps build Trick up. They're probably gonna pull Carmelo to Raw. No, I literally got done talking and then you typed it in and it came up. Building up for Mania. Oh, hello. I literally was saying it and then it popped in. Right after I said it, the comment popped into the box. I was just talking about it. That's how I'm ending the show because I don't have anything else to talk about. I already talked about all the matches. They had a very small card. There wasn't a lot going on, but it was really good matches. I promise you, if you have not seen NXT No Mercy, you are truly missing out because it was a really good pay-per-view. It's so good. And they did an excellent job. Tiffany Stratton, she was excellent in that match with Becky. Becky was excellent in her match. You got Dragunov and Carmelo put on a classic. It's an instant classic. Both of those matches are classics. Those are matches you go back and rewatch because they're so good. It was so good. It was such a well thought out pay-per-view. The pacing was good. The timing of each match was solid. They didn't go over. They didn't drag out a lot of things. You kind of got the idea of when certain matches were going to end. They didn't drag out that tag team match to make it too much. They gave them just enough time so that it was worth the time frame that it was in. It was so good. It was so solid. It was so good. They did an amazing job. It was amazing. Dragon Lee does deserve to go up. I felt like Dragon Lee should have went up from the beginning, but I kind of understand why Dragon went to NXT. NXT gives you that nice little that revive of wrestling, your love of it. And he got to wrestle some of the best people in the company in NXT with Nathan Frazier, Axiom, Noam Dar. He went up against Tyler Bate at one point in that fatal four-way. Like you had some really good heavy hitters right there. It really was good. They need to pull the Creed brothers up too. I agree. I think the Creed brothers could help level out that tag team division because right now is not hitting. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, next week is Fastlane. Next week is October 7th. Fastlane will be in Indianapolis, Indiana. In Indianapolis, they're going to have the t-shirt store or the merch store set up in there. They're calling it the Fastlane store. And it's going to be at Circle Center Mall. And you guys can go in there on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and buy a whole bunch of merch and belts and all kind of stuff if you want to. You can also go to the show and buy Fastlane merch and whatever. There are 3 matches that are scheduled and ready to go for Fastlane. This is probably one of the top marquee matches. It's probably going to be second to last on the card. Well, third to last on the card. I would put this third to last. You've got the bloodline of Solo and Jimmy going up against John Cena and LA Knight. And then on the title side, they got 2 title matches scheduled. One of them is for the Women's Championship. The WWE Women's Championship is being contested by Charlotte Flair and Asuka. Io is your current champion. It's a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. And right now, these are the only 3 matches that have been announced and booked, which is Seth freaking Rollins going up against Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match. Now, I do know for a fact that you're going to have Gunther going up against Ciampa, and they're more than likely going to have LWO going up against Bobby Lashley and them at some point, whether it's the night before Fastlane or at Fastlane, I'm not sure. All right. The one thing I've always loved about Becky, she's always very giving to her opponents, especially if they are rookie or new like Bianca. Even Tiffany, she makes them look good. To be fair, Tirza, Tiffany did very well in that match. I know that Becky worked in that match and she did a lot of working in that match, and she does work to make them look good, but she doesn't have to work that hard with Tiffany. I'm not the biggest fan of Tiffany in terms of her character, but ring work, she is very solid. She rarely fucks up in that ring. She has very good move set. She is very close to what Charlotte Flair was when she came to the main roster and was doing what she was doing. Tiffany Stratton is good. She is good at what she does. So Becky didn't have to work too hard, but she did work. She did work that match just like Tiffany did. I'm sorry, but EO losing. What you apologizing to me for? Not my champion. It's a weird statement. Thank you, Tirza, because I've been saying that about Becky, but the haters ain't getting the hint. Okay. I'm starting to like Tiffany Stratton as a performer. Ring wise, she eats. I can't shit on the girl on her performance in the ring. She's one of the best in NXT as of right now. Her, Lyra, JC, Kaylani is right there. Kiana James, Electra Lopez. When Soul Ruka comes back, she'll be one of the girls as well. Ariana Grace was before she got injured. We're gonna see how well Ariana works out when she gets into um the breakout tournament. Roxanne, those girls are very good. They're very solid in the ring. It takes a lot for you to come from the next in line program and build yourself up and be great like that. Some of those girls are auditioners and others are from the NIL program, but they're all solid and they're doing very, very well. I give a lot of praise to all of the superstars that perform tonight in NXT and those who perform on the show because they do exceptionally well. The only person I don't really understand the hype of is Lola. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Yes, Trick Williams is champion. I'm so jealous of her movesaw. Like, I want to do it because I'm not confident about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That is all. I have gone over the whole show. Um, she left on her own accord. Said she was out, packed up her things, cleared out her locker, and was gone. Very similar to what happened with Wesley. All right, y'all. So I went over the show. You can always go back and watch everything in the playback. I went through each match, gave them a grade. So if you guys want to know what I felt about each match, don't hesitate to go ahead and watch this in the replay when it goes up. I'm going to go ahead and lay it on down. Y'all be easy. I will see you guys Monday after Monday Night Raw. And I hope you guys watched the show. If you haven't watched it, please go and watch it. You're missing out. And the NXT girls and guys put on a banger of a pay-per-view. Shout out to Shawn Michaels and all the producers in the back and all of the superstars who performed. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. And we'll see y'all next time. Yes. Yes, she is the UFC woman. Yes. I'll see y'all Monday.